Hey y'all, welcome back to Key is King. Today we are getting into the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. We are at season 9, episode 5. Confirmed. Season 9, episode 5. And we are opening on the other end of a cliffhanger yet again. And we are having Mia go through her memory of Karen calling her drunk, apparently a butt dial, to say that she wasn't with her husband, Ray. So they're going through it, and Karen's asking questions for context clues like, well, did I say this? Did I say that? Karen's kind of like low-key recalling the story, which is suspicious on its own, but Mia is flashing to her confessionals, and she just is seemingly forgetting to provide the details in the moment. So in her confessional, which is God knows how many months, weeks, years later from the dinner itself, she's like, oh, well, I think she did call me the next morning. To say all this stuff. So Mia can't get her fucking lies straight. Per usual, honestly. Mia be lying, as they named her, is absolutely factual. So she's going through that. She then reveals that the story that she's telling happened 3 years ago. And what sparked all of this is her trying to defend Jacqueline. So Jacqueline thought she was doing something. She got her feelings hurt, cried like a little baby, and now Mia's coming to her defense with lies. These women don't do too much of this. A lot of this, not a lot of this. So everybody's like looking at her sideways, listening to the story. Ashley, of course, seems to be taking all of it in, and we'll get to her and her forehead later. But Karen's just like, oh, okay, like whatever. Mia's like, yeah, you called Jacqueline a liar, and Karen's like, she is. So I don't know what this is trying to do. But they go on, they kind of talk that out really, not really, no resolution, per usual. But what becomes very clear and what is resolved is that Mia is doing her best to stomp on Wendy's birthday. At this point, Wendy has about an hour left to her 40th birthday, and Mia is doing everything she can to make nobody want to celebrate. She seems very uninterested, and she seems like a hater. Because what's the point of doing that? Like, let her have her moment. She don't get a lot of moments, as Karen would say, about the artist formerly known as Robin Dixon. So that opening scene was just annoying, and it was Mia full of her lies. So starting off strong. Everyone splinters off from dinner after that awkward dinner, trying to hang on for Wendy and her birthday. They flash to Stacey calling her man TJ, and TJ sounds like we got a lot of things in common. I'll say it that way. And he's calling her, and he's like, hey, da, 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 da. And he's saying to her that he wants her to start sharing about them to the girls. He wants them to know what's going on all of a sudden, and apparently. To me, I thought it was like a complete tone shift, because this is a man that wanted to have zero sex with her, but all of a sudden he wants her to share him everywhere. So she was like, oh, okay. Wendy comes out to, I don't know if she was trying to check on her. She heard TJ on the phone, but she comes outside and is like, oh, hey, and talking and blah, 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 blah. But she's being fake as fuck, because she flashes to her confessional, and she's like, they seem like they met at like church camp, like two virgin people just in love. So once again, Wendy's kind of fake, but she's not wrong about her assessment of the relationship specifically. And then they seem to exchange their first I love yous, well, at least Stacey's first I love you on camera. TJ said it to her, and he's like, I know you're not going to say it to me, and you never do. And she's like shyly and coyly, it's like, I love you. So it's still giving me hired actor. I will never, ever forget that I was right about TJ from the Parkers being from the Parkers. So I feel like he's an actor, and he's either acting gay or he's very gay. Don't know which one it is, but they just had to make sure they show that. Good for you, Stace, and your maybe gay man. They then cut to everybody kind of back inside in the living room waiting on Wendy's birthday to get here, and they are just in their pajamas, and it's a yawn fest. They're all just kind of standing around, sitting around. They look bored. I could feel the boredom through the TV. Did not seem like they were having fun. I think somebody even said, like, this is the most boring. Was it Karen, maybe? Karen was like, for my 40th, we were doing this, that, the third. But they're just kind of sitting around until the moment gets there. So the moment finally gets here, they're cheersing, they're happy. Wendy's like twerking a little bit. But she's giving a birthday speech, and forgive me in this moment, it's been a day. I don't know if it was Ashley or Mia. I want to say it was Ashley, which means it probably was Mia, that just interrupted her fucking speech. Like, she's talking, somebody just started talking over her, and I would have let them have it. Because of all things and all days, not my birthday. Let me have that one day, please. You could have all the other days, but my birthday? No. So they interrupt her speech, which was fucking rude. But they proceed to give Wendy a montage of her life moments and her accomplishments and obviously her time on the show. But she's very happy about her 40s and where she is, and they honored her with that montage. So, round of applause to Wendy. Still a snooze fest, but at least you're happy with your age. That's all that really matters, right? Good for her. Why should she care about me? The next morning, we unfortunately have to start with Mia and Jacqueline dipping their crusty feet in a cold pool. And they're just sitting talking about a bunch of nonsense, talking about the night. They're talking, well, I shouldn't say they. Jacqueline is doing a whole lot of like big talk in her confessionals about Mia, about Jazzy, about Cam, about like everybody. And I'm wondering for the woman who cries every time she gets confronted, how she's going to deal with the words that are coming out of her mouth. Because when they boomerang, are you going to be ready? Like, I just don't get Jacqueline. She's like in the scene doing one thing and seeming to say one thing, and her confessional's popping big shit. I don't even know why she's on the show or has a confessional. It's giving this. It's giving that she does not need to do this any longer. But she's talking big shit about Mia, in my opinion. And then they start talking about Gordon and how he's on the payroll and how he's annoying. Jacqueline did kind of... that's what she was talking about in her confessional. She was saying how like Mia kind of did it to herself and like who would live in the same building as their ex, which are facts. But also, are you saying this to your friend? Because they're either editing you to look like you're not saying this to your friend and you're just popping shit in confessional, or you're just being a good friend and doing it personally, but you guys are messy as fuck and on the same show. So I doubt it's that. I highly doubt it's that. But that whole scene was just like, womp, 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 womp. Too boring. Well, I can't say that Mia's boring. She's a liar. She's a weirdo. She's not exactly boring, though. Jacqueline, though, goodbye. Goodbye. They then gladly move on to Giselle and her daughters who are at their cap and gown ceremony. Giselle flew from the vacation to go be at this event for her daughter because duh. And she'll be flying back at the end of the episode, I believe. But this was the only time she was really in the episode, and it was all about her daughters, and we all know that's the best part of Giselle. So it was cute. They honored her father because he was there for all their events. And then we had allegedly gay, not so allegedly slutty Jamal there and giving his pastor preach. Look, God said, don't call the pastor gay. Don't call the pastor slutty. But his nickname is literally Pastor Holy Whore, so forgive me. I'm just calling it like I see it. But that scene was nice. It was short. It was cute. And good job to Giselle for raising her daughters so well. They seem to really they'd be fun. I'd probably like have a shot with them or something. I think are they college age, drinking age? Maybe not, but you know, they're cool in my book. So I did notice when I was taking notes and watching this episode that although we're already at our last scene of the episode, which is breakfast. Is it the day of Wendy's birthday maybe? Yeah, so it's the morning of Wendy's birthday, we're at breakfast, and this is where the episode remains for the rest of the episode, and this is where it ends. So I was like, oh, dang, when it was all said and done, I was like, wow, this felt very short for some reason. I don't know why. But minor detail, useless detail. They are at breakfast, and Mia, of course, because she does, I think at this point she just thinks she has to start everything all the time. But she's at dinner, and she's talking about how they're going to go visit her doctor's office, and she's saying it almost as if she is a doctor as well, and she like owns his office. But apparently, Mia has doctor offices, and she's going to go visit them and show the girls the first doctor office she opened. I smell a lie coming on. Because Mia be what? She be lying. Yeah, there you go. So they're all just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like a doctor's office. But we also know that she owns and runs the Joint Chiropractic franchise. Or did at one point. So it's giving that. It's very much giving that. So Mia says she's going to bring them to the doctor's office. They're all like, okay, girl, go ahead. And then speaking of girl, because ooh, girl, and when I said ooh, girl, when I watched this, Giselle calls Wendy to wish her happy birthday. And Wendy, before she picks up the phone, goes, oh, my new bestie. And what'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? She wants to act like she's joking, but that's what she wants. She wants it. She wants to be her bestie. And Giselle, quite frankly, I feel feels the same. And for that, they both get the side-eye. Because we watch the show. We know that that's fucking weird for you guys to be magically besties. I hope Candace comes back, and I hope Candace has something to say. Matter of fact, I'm going to look up Candace's tweets and see if she's tweeted anything, because we know she's a disaster on Twitter. But she's also a mom now and probably does not give a fuck if she has not already given birth. She's definitely still pregnant, so I digress. But Giselle calls Wendy. She's dancing and singing apparently, and Wendy's living for it. Girl. Girl. So of course, because Mia is a slut with a bone, she is just trying Karen again. It's apparently just pick on Karen day because they weren't satisfied that they didn't get her good enough. I don't know what it is, but they think they're going to try Karen again. And Kay's like, all right, you guys are doing too much. I think Karen needs a break. Like, how much are you going to keep coming at one person because you're mad and salty? And your friend who cannot fight insists on trying to fight. When are you going to wrap it up? When? So Kay's like, that's enough. Thank you very much. Move on. And she has a few agreeers around the table. So I'm glad that Karen has support. Because even, this is the shit I talk about with these women. In this situation, generally speaking, the DUI stuff, now Karen's handling it, I believe she is wrong. And if these women had just more than 2 brain cells, they'd be able to like hold her accountable in a way that was effective and not stupid. But the approach, the delivery, the intention, everything about it is so wrong that they are losing. And I'm happy they're losing because leave Karen alone. Even if she's the world's worst, shittiest DUIer ever, now y'all are doing it in such a way that nobody's on your side. Just dickheads. So apparently Mia has taken such offense to Kay sticking up for Karen that she wants to talk about Kay's alleged drug dealer boyfriend. Which, haven't we all had a drug deal or something at some point or time? Like, you're not living if you haven't. Let me stop. So Mia thinks that because Kay is defending Karen, she's like, oh, what about your drug dealing boyfriend? Because they had a bridge to get there. I'm not even going to try to wreck my brain to figure out what it was in this moment. It's a full review show. Some things slip through the cracks still. And I'm okay with that. But the defense of Karen turns into, oh, let's talk about you then, Kay, and your drug dealer ex-boyfriend. And Kay's like, who is a drug dealer? Now, mind you, she has already told us she has a fiance who's passed away. So if this is her drug dealer boyfriend that is passed away, even if it's as a result of selling drugs, then Mia, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. So we want to talk about that. Kay was like, okay, serve it right back. So Kay engages because, Mia, who are you scaring? Please tell me, who are you scaring? Not Kay. Wouldn't be me if I were there. So Kay's like, okay, I got you. So Kay, like I said, she engages Mia and they are going back and forth. They're saying their little digs, blah, 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 blah. And I just love that. And you know who else? Well, I won't say she loved it, but who else just added to this moment was Stacey. Stacey is so funny. She's in her confessionals confused and just aghast by the fact that these women are talking about drug dealer boyfriends and all this stuff and being a stripper and yada, yada, yada. Oh, because I think that was Kay's rebuttal. Like, she was talking about me being a stripper and all this stuff. And Stacey's just like, where am I? Like, this is too much. And she was trying to work out the details of the stripper drug dealer gate. of it all, and it was just so fucking funny. And then she's essentially like asking for a white flag. Like she's like, hello, can we like please give Karen a break? Can we just like have a nice time maybe? But Stacey's, what seems to be genuine confusion about these women and how they fight is top tier Housewives comedy. So I appreciate her in this moment, because all these other women, not all of them, some of them are just trying it. And the prime example of women trying it in this episode is Ashley Darby. Ashley Forehead Darby. Ashley married to an old man that looks like a Lord of the Rings Harry Potter character, Darby. She tries it. And guys, I used to defend this woman to the death. She used to be such a good housewife when this franchise started. And she has let all of her brain and her forehead go straight to her tits. Because I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know what she's thinking. She thinks she's slick and she's always trying to play fucking dumb. And you, Miss Pageant Patty, although that was Candace's nickname, you're not dumb. And you've proven that you're not dumb. So you acting dumb all of a sudden, unless your implants are literally leaking and seeping to your brain, you have no excuse. But she wants to act dumb and ask Kay about her scar, because in the middle of this argument, which clearly you're trying to be Team Nia and Team Jacqueline, you're going to ask Kay about the scar that she got on her forehead from fighting your friends at your event last year. Really? You're going to ask her about her scar? And Kay loses her marbles. She's just like, you don't ask me about that. And then she's like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? What? Why are you mad at me? What do you do? If you don't go flash dance your 80s looking ass back somewhere quiet, like, ooh, she gets on my nerves. And so Ashley's just like, I don't get it. What? And everybody is clocking her in her face. Just clocking her. And I lived for it. I lived for it. So Kay storms off. She's screaming at Ashley, like, do not ask me about my scar. Don't ask me shit about shit. Like, you should know better. Like, don't do that. He got up and went to go check on her. And Jazzy is like, Ashley, what is wrong with you? I think she, which is my type of fucking girl and my type of fucking shade, she's like, Ashley, do you wear eyeglasses? And I think Ashley, like, innocently was just like, yeah, or something. She's like, do you need to put them on? Because, like, you can see that she has a scar on her forehead. Like, look at her face. Mind you, y'all, Ashley was not sitting across the table. She wasn't sitting down the table. Ashley was sitting right next to this woman. And now she's trying to claim, well, I know she just started a skincare line, and I wanted to know if she used her skincare line on her scar because I don't see a scar. In the land of you're on TV, you know she's wearing makeup. Why are you fucking playing? Like, that's not even a good cover-up. Look, I'm about to knock my notebook on the ground. Like, Ashley. But Jazzy's clocking her. Everybody else is clocking her. And at least that's justice to me. But they kind of flash over to Kiarna? Look at me trying to say her name. Kay. Just still kind of freaking out, screaming, yelling about Ashley. And she's like, Ashley's questions to me are off limits, especially about that. Which when she went back to the table, she did communicate that to Ashley. She's just like, don't ask me shit about that, please. Especially knowing the role that you and your friends played in it, please don't ask me about that. And that's fair, because I wouldn't want Ashley asking me anything about that either. Nothing. So as everyone comes back to the table and the dust is settling from that flare-up, if you will, Karen's like, okay, tag me in. Because Jacqueline wants to be messy and Jacqueline wants to talk all this shit. Karen's like, okay, you want to talk about me and my charges and allegations? She's like, Jacqueline, let's talk about Pee-Pee, her parental partner. And she's like, I heard he had 25 charges against him and you stayed with him, so tell me, what's going on with that? Which everybody was gasping and gooped and gagged. And I could see why, but to me, my first reaction was like, oh, that's very telling of Karen. In the sense that, okay, you could have handled what was coming at you and kind of finessed it and like worried more about responding that way, in my opinion, and kind of being your own soldier. But this is a form of deflection to me, to be like, oh, you want to talk about me? Let's talk about somebody that's not even Jacqueline herself. She's talking about PP and his charges. which still hits, but still, like, it feels like people were living for it, and I was kind of side-eyeing it. Because I feel like you could have... I feel like she could have come better. She could have come stronger, and she could have kept it about Jacqueline instead of trying to go for something or someone in Jacqueline's life. So to me, that was very telling. Some people may live, some people may think I'm being crazy, but, like, if somebody comes for me, I'm coming for them. Like, I'm not a villain in, like, a TV show. I'm not the Penguin. I'm not coming for your fucking family and those you ones you love, and I'm going to make your... No. I'm going to find the fact on you, and I'm going to fight with it. So, Karen kind of lost a couple points there for me. But it is very interesting that this man apparently had 25 charges of some shit, and he was a former cop or still is a cop. So I was like, interesting, because that's my favorite word. And as Jacqueline pointed out, Karen is talking about something that's old, and they're talking about something that's very current for Karen. So once again, a few points deducted in Karen's book because, like, come with something now. And if you're going to come with something old, like, make sure it hits hard. To me, it didn't really hit hard. But in the midst of all this, because Jacqueline is sitting next to Karen during all this fighting and bickering, what does she do but run over to her lesbian lover, Mia? And all of a sudden, she's right next to Mia's side and has to argue with Karen from Mia's side. I guess the hoe power, like, seeps through the pores, or, like, the delusion seeps through the pores. And she was running low, so she had to, like, charge up sitting next to Mia. But I was like, girl, you look foolish at about 12 running over there. But that's what I'm talking about. You want to start a fight and then run. Who gonna respect you, boo? So they're going on to talk, and Ashley tries to interject some too stupid sense into the mix, and Wendy and Stacey clock her right in her forehead. They swelled up even more. Wendy literally was like, shut up. Like, shut yo ass up. She literally gave her one of these. And Stacey was telling her the same thing. Because Ashley said some stupid shit like, everyone has a past. Everyone has a past. And Wendy's like, oh, now everyone has a... Her and Stacey, like a chorus. Oh, everyone has a past, huh? Everyone has a past, Ashley? And Ashley's like, y'all are doing so much. You're doing too much. And Wendy's like, shut up. That's when she was giving her the shut ups. And Ashley tried to, like, stand up and, like, yell and do all this stuff. And Stacey was like, this is her birthday. Show her some respect. In her firmest newscaster voice. And what did Ashley do? She sat down and smiled. Because you already know. You already know. As Big Frida would say. Like, oh, I was so happy they got her in her forehead. Get her again and get her for me. Because be quiet, Ashley. Just be quiet. So they tell her to shut up. She does. Thank God. And then soon after, breakfast kind of dissolves. Because Wendy's like, look, it's my birthday. Let this be the low point of today. Only up from here. We're going to go do something, whatever their activity is, as the episode is coming to an end. But they kind of tried to end breakfast on that note. Which, I like the way Wendy worded it. But good luck. Because as we see, you won't need it. So once again, we splinter off into separate little quarters after a meal. And we go to Jacqueline and Mia and Ashley, who are in one of their rooms, pulling up Karen's charges and reading them, like itemized, out loud on camera. So as Karen said, look it up, Google it, you can read. And they did just that. They read. So they're reading an itemized list of Karen's charges out. They're detailing them of what she... Well, it's all allegations at this point. So they're reading them out loud, and Stacey comes in to kind of follow up with some stuff that happened at breakfast. And they are informing Stacey of all these charges, which genuinely seems to be news to Stacey. She seems shocked. Talk about gooped and gagged. She's like, oh my God, I had no idea that these were the charges. Like, I've never looked at them. And so Mia's like, yes, please know who you're defending. This is what you're defending. And so Stacey is, like, disturbed by this information because not only does Mia show the charges, she then goes, yeah, we were trying to figure out if, like, Karen needs to go to rehab, which she already knows where that's going to go and how that's going to go. So what does Stacey do? She immediately goes and runs to Karen and is like, Karen, I need to talk to you. And let me say it right now. I've made mention in my other reviews how housewives are not playing their game smart and how you have to, like, kind of play if you're going to play these types of games. And Stacey is giving a master class. Do you hear me? The new housewives all around the franchises are giving it the way it's supposed to be given. They have studied the game if they are not being genuinely this way. Because Stacey, baby, when I tell you I was almost gave her a standing ovation damn near, I was so happy. She runs and gets Karen immediately. And she's like, Karen, I just am very disturbed by what I was just told. She was like, those 3 girls, and she named them by name, were in the room showing me your charges. So Karen addresses that by saying they're like allegations, they're not charges, but it's public information, it's public record. Like, it's out there for them to read. Anybody who wants to look it up can do so. So Karen's like, I'm not tripping off that. She really kept her cool. But Stacey's like, no, but I'm just very concerned because they're saying that they were looking for you to go to rehab possibly for alcoholism. Baby, when I tell you, that concerned, curious face she's coming from, whether it's authentic or not, that gets the job done. Especially in housewives. I'm talking housewives territory. This is what we need. It's what we need. And so she's like, I just want to be sure. And that's where Karen gets upset. The rehab comment. Because what are you talking about rehab? And why are you talking about me having to go to rehab? So we end there. When I tell you Stacey played that shit perfectly, she cleared out the entire gossip drama clip. She named names, she said things, she put a little sauce on some stuff, but she delivered it in such a way that I just know it's about to be effective. I just knew it. But sadly, that's where the episode ended. But that was the entire episode. To me, it felt short. I don't know if it's because I was entertained by the second half or if it was because not a lot happened. But that is Potomac Season 9, Episode 5 in a nutshell. As always, please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more content that I'll be pushing out because I think I got this down a little bit. And it feels good. But until next time...